Hello guys, in the previous lecture, we learned how to configure Mongoose so that Node.js server is connected to MongoDB. And in this lecture, we're gonna test our newly created schema by using a software called Postman. What is Postman? Postman is an essential tool for every developer to have. It is used for testing routes or, in another name, URL. So without further ado, let's get started. So first, go to your browser and type in on the Google search bar, type in Postman. And then click on the first link and simply add it to Chrome and press Add App. And now you have Postman. You're gonna wait for a couple of seconds. And now you have Postman. And now click it. Wait for a couple of seconds. And then you can sign up or sign in, or you can actually just go to the app without signing up. And now here we are in the Postman. So Postman is really useful because it will help you to test out your route without even creating a web page. To be more specific, we can test our URL without even creating like a HTML page to test it out. We can just test it out by seeing the data. So to see it in action, we have to go back to our text editor and code our first proper URL to test the database schema design. So first, delete this two URL. Alright, once delete, you gotta need to require the user.js file. And how are we gonna do that? It's the same as requiring normal library, but the difference is, first I'm going to type in the code, require. So the difference is here, all right, is that in order for you to require this library, you got to press ./models/user, right? So this is like going to go to a models directory and then go to a user and take the user file. So once we have required a file, right below Morgan, we want to create a new route, app.post. All right, app.post, and then you want to pass in, let's say, any route name. For the time being, we're gonna name it create user, comma, and add an anonymous function with a parameter of request and response, right? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a new user, since our user equals to this, all right, new user. So we're gonna create an instance of user object, which this user object is requiring from the user schema file because we already exported. Go back to your server.js and and then go down and type in user.profile.name equals to, we forgot to do something. All right, we forgot to do something very important. We forgot to require body parser. How are we going to actually read the data from Postman later on? All right, so we're gonna need to require a body parser. So how are we gonna do that? Go up and require it, body parser equals to require body parser, right? And go to the terminal, and we're gonna need to install it. npm install body parser --save, so it will save to the package, the JSON. So we're gonna wait for a couple of seconds, wait it to be installed. And once it's installed, we're gonna run our server. But before we run our server, we need to use it on a middleware. All right. But before that, what body parser will do? So body parser will take the body of your request and parse it to whatever you want your server to receive in post request or put request. It could be in a format of JSON data, URL encoded, text, or raw data. But the only problem with body parser is that you can't handle multi-part bodies. What is multi-part bodies? Which are commonly uploads, like uploading image or video. So next, we have to add it to the middleware. You type in app.use, and then you type in body parser.json. So this line over here, what it does is now our Express application could parse JSON data format. All right. And next, we wanna parse one more data format, which is parser URL encoded. Then you want to add extended true to true. And what this line of code does is that now again our Express application could parse the data format called x-www-form-URL encoded. We will see it in action right now. But before we do that, now we can actually use body parser, one of the body parser requests, which is request.body. This is actually body parser dot whatever name that you want to put it in the Postman. Alright, so let's go ahead and change this to post, and let's go ahead and change this to localhost, and let's check our port number, which is 3000. Go back to Postman and type in 3000 slash the name of the route, which is create user, and then go to your body, and as you can see, there is form data. There is x-www.form-URL encoded as raw, and there is binary. All right, so request.body will be depending on the name that you put on Postman. Let's say you put name, and then you put password, and then you put email, for example. And when you go back to your text editor, you have to name it the same as the one you name it on Postman. So request.body name, user.password equals to request.body.password, and lastly user.email equals to request.body.email. But before we go ahead and actually test it out, this user.profile.name, if you go back to user.js, is based on this field. So user.profile.name, user.email, and another one is user.password. Just want to let you know. So after that, we want to save the object to database, and we want to add some kind of like a validation. So we add an anonymous function with a parameter of error. If error, simply console log error. Or to make it more secure, or to make it more efficient, you add another parameter here called next. This is a callback, so that when there's an error, it will call back this with an error. All right, and then if there's no error, simply you can put rest.json, and then you want to put successfully created a new user. Okay, let's save it. All right, let's kind of clean up a little bit, and now we have already now we have already finished creating our proper route. Go back to Postman, and let's go ahead and type in a value, and I'm going to name it Arash, and password abc123, and arash@gmail.com. Let's see the magic. Hopefully it will work. So press send. So we could not get a response. Why? Obviously because we haven't started our server yet. So go ahead and start server. Wait for the server is running and connect to database. Alright, now we can send it. Press send. It shows successfully created a new user. So basically, it has been successfully saved the user object to the database. But let's say we change this to form. All right, let me add it name. Arash2 password 2 C123 and key is email. We want to test different kind of data format. Email is arash2@gmail.com. Save and successfully again. So go to your browser and go to your Mongo Lab database and kind of like refresh this. We want to see what it's actually saving the user or not. Collections, and go to your collections tab and press users. We have 2 documents that have been saved here. Click on it, and as you can see, there you have it, arash2@gmail, and the other one is it's not showing any email here. Figure out why it's not showing. All right, you know why it's not showing? Because URL encoded only support this format of data, not this one. So if you click this one, it will never save this tree data to the database. So let's say if you press send, all right, successfully created. If you go back to your browser and if you press refresh, it doesn't save. As you can see, it doesn't save. So now we have another problem. It doesn't save at all. Why? As I said, if you go back to server.js, we only allow this body parser to actually parse a JSON data format and a URL encoded, which is xww form URL encoded. But if you change back to this, you change this to rs3 and change this to abc3 rs3. Right, save it again. Successfully created. Go back to your Mongo Lab and simply refreshed it, and there you have it. It's actually saved it to the database. And if you go back to Postman, we want to test it again. Probably there are 2 possible kind of like solutions. So we won't change email, because if you go back to your user.js, email is set to unique as true. So go back to Postman and save it, send it, successfully create it. But if you go back to here, it won't actually save it to the database because it is kind of like duplicate. Yes, it didn't. Okay, now congratulations guys, you have successfully created a proper URL by testing out the user schema object. So I'll see you guys in the next lecture. Bye.